Well, happy Monday, everyone. This is James Gailliard, and welcome to the James Gailliard Show, live every Monday on Choice 92.1 FM from 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. And I am thrilled that you are all here. I hope you had a wonderful weekend. I'm just excited for the next several weeks. This time of the year is different because we are right on top of Thanksgiving, and then, of course, Christmas after that. I don't know in your line of work and what you do, even though we're really busy around the church, we have found that it's hard to get stuff done from a lot of our vendors and contractors. Once you hit Thanksgiving, that space, have you noticed that? That space between Thanksgiving and Christmas, it's hard to get things done. And so I'm already feeling kind of like in vacation mode. And so I'm rethinking some things. And I'm going to need your help as I rethink some things. We're going to be rebranding the show. I'm really committed to doing the show on an ongoing basis. I'm going to slow things down through the remainder of the year and rebrand and be really clear about some of our subject matter. I've got some pre-recorded content that I'm going to share today. I did a lot of interviews over the past year and don't know all of who we're going to play on this particular show today, but we've got interviews with Fred Hammond and Todd Delaney, and interviews with Anthony Brown and with David Mann Jr. and with Todd Galberth and with Q Parker and with Nicole. So lots of interviews that people that we've brought into the studios here at the Impact Center at Word Tabernacle Church, and I want to share those interviews with you because they're thought leaders, they are influencers, and I think the content will be a little lighter than we are accustomed to, having been bombarded with such political language and such just the political culture that we're in. And so I hope you enjoyed the interviews today. I want to ask you to do something. If would you think about what an ideal talk show looks like for you? Would you like it to have a call-in feature? Would you like it to be more than one day a week? I'm going to even create a little survey, and I'm going to put it out there. What time slot is best? What would be your preferred way of viewing it and or listening to it? Would it be podcast? Would it be radio? Would it be both? Would it be a YouTube channel? So what would that look like? And then what's the subject matter? Would you want the show to be, and for those of you just tuning in, this is James Gailliard, and you are watching the James Gailliard Show right here on the People Station, Choice 92.1 FM. And we're just talking about how we're kind of in a pump the brakes, rebranding kind of mode, thinking through what the future is going to look like. And I really want to meet the needs of people, and I want to really properly educate people and inspire people and empower people to really live thriving lives. And so in order to do that, I think we have to talk. I want to create an environment. I'm going to say a little bit more about this on the back end of the show, but I want to create a little bit of an environment where we can engage each other, grow together, have meaningful dialogues, meaningful conversations where we can be empowered. And so today I'm going to share some pre-recorded content that was recorded right here in our studios in Rocky Mount, North Carolina. And there'll be artists that I'm sure. And we're going to just have conversations about the importance of church and the importance of civic engagement and just all the things that we're going to talk about. So please share your feedback as I bring you these influencers and thought leaders and entertainers. And then at the end of today's show, I'm going to come back, challenge us about a few more things. So in the interim, think about what your ideal show might look like. So I hope you enjoy these interviews. I'll be back on the tail end of all these interviews. Welcome to the James Gailliard Show right here on Choice 92.1 FM. Well, hey, everybody, this is Pastor James Gailliard at Word Tabernacle Church in Rocky Mount, North Carolina. Welcome to another edition of In Black and White. And as always, I try to bring some folk to you that aren't normally in our area. And in podcast studio with me today, live and in person, David Mann Jr. David, welcome to Word Tabernacle and Impact Center in Rocky Mount, brother.
Man, I appreciate y'all for having me. And I just want to let y'all know this place is phenomenal. If you ain't been, you need to be here because it's great.
Man, I appreciate that shout out. Look, this really happened. So last night I get a text, right? And the text is not you having a concert, not, you got Todd Delaney Todd Galberth coming to Texas. So you got David Mann Jr. coming to your church. Yeah. So man, people, you got your own fan club, man, your own swag. So I'm glad you're here. So I like to cover personal stuff because I want people to know what's going on in people's lives. And so, but before we jump into that, you were sharing a project you're dealing with. So home for you right now is Dallas?
Dallas.
And so what are you doing in Dallas these days?
So in Dallas right now, I'm working on a project with a young lady that's called Blueprint University. And what it is, it's a turnkey situation for your business. You need loans, you need grants, anything financially you need, even the taxes, they take care of everything turnkey. And I'm helping them with the production side because, I have a background in videos and commercials. So I'm helping them turn this whole situation around, and it's a beautiful thing for African American families, businesses, and women businesses. So.
Man, that's good. So how do people stay in tune to this project? Will we just follow you on your social media?
Just follow me on my social media, and you definitely gonna see a lot of things coming from me in regards to that, and some other small things that I'm doing, film stuff. So like 2 years ago, I won a Stella for a music video of the year. And just trying to keep that going and keep pushing.
So I saw that on your social media, and I was going to ask you about that. So how did that come about? Because obviously when we hear your name, a lot of times it's about playing the music. It's the DJ.
Right.
But clearly it's a whole lot more to you than that. So tell me about how this whole Stellar came about with the music video of the year.
So, of course, my parents are David and Tamela Mann, and I just had a vision for her music video called Help Me, and that was her song, and it was a #1 song. And I just wanted to enhance it. So I wanted to give it a visual that we don't normally see, because as Christian people, we believe God and God only, and that God don't put nobody else but God on here for us. So what I wanted the people to see is that we can go to counseling and have mental health and actually, and actually be a thing. That's a thing, that doctors are here. That God put doctors on this earth to help us, and counselors on this earth to help us succeed. Because, man, we're going through a lot. And I know after COVID that it was a really, really big deal that people were struggling mentally. And that's why I wanted to showcase and show. And I happened to win the Stella Award for showcasing that.
Man, that's outstanding, and that's a perfect segue to something I always ask visitors and guests like yourself that come to the Impact Center. So about 2 years ago, I went viral for, I say, all the wrong reasons. I basically had a business meeting at the church because we do a quarterly business meeting. And at the end of the business meeting, I shared my heart about hitting the wall. Like, I had just burnt out.
Right.
And this video hit, man, like a million people. I mean, I got calls from literally around the globe.
Right.
So my question to you is, what do you do? What does David Mann Jr. do to help maintain your own emotional health?
And I tell people this all the time, because a lot of men only rely on one person in their household to kind of dump all their troubles on, and that's our wives. And we just have to be careful, because we put a lot of stuff on them when we need to take it somewhere else and dump on them. Because I call my therapist I call her my hard drive center. So what I come do is I come download all my junk and then I leave. so that's what I do. I'm definitely into therapy, and it just helps me not just dump all my problems on my wife, because I know she bears the load of our family as well. And I just don't want to be the person that, sends it to the grave, because I'm putting all my problems and burdens on her.
Yeah.
So that's a big deal to me, and that's kind of what I do. I have to go to a therapist to dump.
That's good.
And that's a big, big thing. So
folks, look, y'all heard it. It's all right. You can be saved and go to church and to a therapist or a counselor. I want to advocate for that. I want to promote that. We want to kill the social stigma about that, so that people feel people feel comfortable to be able to do that. So you mentioned your family.
Yes.
Tell us about your family.
So of course, we've been working together for a long, long time. We've probably been working together for 16 to 17 years. I just, as of recently, decided to step out on my own and kind of build something for me. Because as a junior, I don't know if you know what it feels like, but being a celebrity kid is kind of tough, because we don't get understood. It's always, you guys are entitled, but they don't understand what we miss. We've missed a lot of time with our parents. They've missed a lot of things. So I, as a new parent, and I would say a new parent. My kids are 14 and 11.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
but as a new parent, I just wanted to kind of enhance the legacy of our family, to kind of be there, because my dad sacrificed so much in time. My mom and dad did. So that's kind of what I'm, pushing towards right now, and it's just being present.
Yeah. So 14 and 11-year-old, and is your wife in the business with you, or how's that?
My wife, actually, she's a real estate agent, and
Okay.
she also is an insurance rep as well. So she does a lot of things. But as far as this business, she would hate it if she was in it.
I feel you.
She
I
don't
feel
like
you.
it. She doesn't like it.
So take me way back. I know you're in Dallas now, but where'd you grow up?
So I'm originally from this small town in Dallas. Of course, is like Mansfield, Arlington area, and we were country kids. So it was outside with the shoes, no shoes, barefooted, drinking out the water hose. That kind of living. And then life changed for us once Kirk Franklin and the family took off.
Okay.
So I mean, a lot of years I was really not realizing it then, seeing megastars be built. Nobody can say some of the things that I've seen. I've seen Tyler Perry drive a Honda. I've seen Kirk Franklin when he bought his first house. When he was living with other people. Those are some of the things that I've seen. And
wow.
Nobody can take that from me. I've seen some megastars be born, regardless of Myron Butler, some of the gospel greats that we consider great. I've seen them grow up. Tone, I've seen all these people.
That's
come around.
Man, what a great lesson for people to realize. Most times, my wife and I were talking about this. Like we were binge watching, right? And these people that are stars now, but then we'll watch a movie that's like 20 years old, and we're like, that Joker was an extra like 20 years ago.
Right.
And I think a lot of times people forsake those humble beginnings, and they don't recognize that, like, people that we think is an overnight success, they've been in the game like 25 years.
25 years, man. I seen Myron Butler with God's Property be in the very, very background and produce and make some of the music that we know and love that nobody will never know.
Wow.
That he did it,
Yeah.
So these are...
So while we're on the talk of people being successful, what would you tell people, man, in terms of how do you maintain your own sense of humility, your own sense of humanity, now that you have a name recognition and people know who you are, they know who David Mann Jr. is, and how do you keep that regular touch?
Man, just I try to stay as close to God as I can, and for once, it's just one of them things I'm thinking in my mind right now. Just that was a great question, because I'm just baffled by what God has done, even for me, because it wasn't guaranteed for me to be a success or be successful. And I don't even still consider myself being one of the more successful people yet. I stay humble by staying close to people.
Yeah.
I really want to know what people really are thinking. I really want to know, and I'm concerned with what's going on in the community.
Okay.
And those are some of the things that I do just to kind of stay humble and stay around and start, because there's people going through a lot of different things.
Man.
So many people going through so much.
Yeah.
So that's what I try to. When I'm coaching my son's little league team, he had a kid on his team, mother passed away day before yesterday, and it just touched me because the kid had a moment, and a lot of people will throw kids away in those moments, and you just can't do it. You have to uphold him and uplift him.
Yeah, man, that's a good word. So let me ask you this. I'm gonna get to your studio, get to the concert. What advice would you give, young up and coming folk, man, that are looking at whether they're interested in the gospel industry or they're just interested in doing something entertainment wise? What's been the life lessons for you, man?
Consistency.
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 Love it.
Consistency is it, because if you continue to keep doing it, stuff will come. Don't chase the money, chase your dream. Like, don't chase the money. As soon as I was chasing the money, the stuff started falling apart.
Wow.
But if I continue chasing my dream, then everything will work out.
That's a good word, y'all. You heard David Mann Jr. Be consistent and chase your dream and not the money. Listen, if folk want to follow you on social media, how do they do that?
David Mann Jr. on everything. So let's follow David Mann Jr. on everything.
Well, man, thanks for being with us. I really appreciate you being here today.
Pastor, thank you for having me.
So you are a new artist. Tell us about you.
Well, it's interesting because I've been in the industry for 20 years, songwriting. So I've written for everybody from Mariah Carey to Beyonce to Rihanna, Mary J. Blige, everybody. And now I'm finally able to get out in front and do what God called me to do.
Wow, that's awesome. So are you working on a project right now?
Yes, I'm finishing up my album, just getting it mixed and mastered. Everything's pretty much done.
Okay.
And so I'm about to sing some new songs for y'all tonight, and I can't wait.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. So tell us a little bit about your growing up. You grew up in Atlanta?
Yep, I am an Atlanta native, born and raised. It's not a lot of us. Everybody moves to Atlanta. So when y'all talk about our traffic, it's not us. It's everybody else.
Hey, listen, let me tell you something. I went to college there, and every time I have to go back to preach or minister, I'm like dreading it.
You're dreading
it's
it,
a whole different world out there, man.
I know, and it's just getting worse.
Yeah, so I wanna talk about a couple of subjects. One of the things I want to talk about, just so people get a sense of who you are, is who have been your influences. Like when you look at who you are to today, who have been the people that have directly or indirectly helped mentor you, tutor you, who your influences?
Wow. Well, I mean, my main influence, aside from Christ, would be my mom. Just her life and who she is, who she was. She passed away a few years ago. So, but she still impacts me. She still influences me. I'm a mother, so that's a big deal for me. I would say on a more professional side of things, as songwriting goes, of course, like Smokey Robinson, Lionel Richie, some of the great songwriters. As far as artistry goes, I love Kiki Sheard. I love Naomi. I love Tasha Cobbs. I love Todd Galberth and Todd Delaney. So I had to change my whole set because I do a lot of their songs.
Oh, wow.
So it's a sweet thing to be here. It's really a blessing.
So are you connected to a local church at all back in Atlanta?
Absolutely. I'm connected to Story Church.
Story Church. Okay. Who's the pastor there?
That is Pastor Sam Collier.
Okay. All right. Now, do you get pulled on to have to worship lead or sing, or do they kind of just let you be a member?
They let me be a member.
Okay.
Now, I used to be connected to some other churches, and it was hard to be an artist and also I was a worship pastor for a while.
Okay.
For a few years. So that was always a bit of a pull,
What's been your motivation or your inspiration? That's probably a better word, as it relates to your songwriting.
Wow.
Is it life experiences and events, or
it's life? I feel like life has its own soundtrack, and my job is to pull the song out of the moment. So that's my whole job. I come in a room, and if I'm talking with another artist about writing something for them, I'm getting in their life. I'm trying to see where the song is that's missing, and so I just pull the song out of moments. That's why I never deal with writer's block, because as long as life is happening, there's a song in the moment.
Man, that's so good. Y'all, life has its own soundtrack. That is so good. Somebody bought me a shirt. I had seen it a while back, but one of my members bought me a shirt that says something like, it says pastor on it, and like, beware anything that you experience or say to me may wind up in a sermon.
Yes, that's how songwriting is.
I mean, but like, I'm like one of those people, like, I just think there's a sermon in everything.
It is. It's a message in everything. I could write a song about a bowl of cereal.
Okay. Okay.
It's always something. And it's because ultimately I co-write with the Lord.
Okay.
And so as long as there's something that he wants to show, and God is the God of analogies and parables and all that. So he can pull a message out of anything. So when I write, I try to pull from that same place.
So what are some of your favorite songs that you've written?
Oh my gosh. My biggest song that I ever wrote was a song called Only Girl in the World for Rihanna.
Okay.
And so that's my most famous record. But my most favorite record that I've ever written is probably it's a song called Empty Prayers I wrote for Mary J. Blige.
Wow.
Yeah, it's just a very special song to me.
So when did you realize I can write?
When did I realize that? So I used to write on little napkins at home when I was younger, just like random rhymes and stuff. I see my 6-year-old daughter doing that right now.
Oh, wow.
So I noticed it, but I didn't know that I was prolific. I didn't know that I was a poet, in that regard until I was just writing random songs. Honestly, I was told that I could never be an artist. I was told I wasn't pretty enough. I wasn't light enough. I wasn't small enough. And so from that space, I started writing songs just from a space of frustration because I felt like God put the gift in the wrong package.
Wow.
So you give me this voice, but people are telling me that I don't look the part. So what am I to do with it? And so that was my initial push into songwriting.
Wow. So that leads me into a question that I ask everyone who I have a chance to sit in studio with. About 2 years ago, I did at the end of our business meeting, I sat in front of my church and had admitted that I got hit a wall. I was like burning out. And of all the things I preached and spoken, that was the thing that went viral, right?
Wow, of course.
And so, you Google my name now, and
That's the one
probably Pastor Hits the Wall, shows up.
Wow.
So out of that, I'm learning, I ask everyone, what do you do to maintain your emotional health?
Ooh, that's so good. That's so good because I'm currently walking through this where I'm having to learn to let my emotions be in the backseat. I let them drive too much. And I thought it was being authentic and being true, but really it's just not being a good steward of experiences and relationships with people, So what I'm currently doing is, somebody told me the other day, you kind of walk out of the room sometimes and take a moment, and literally I have to ask the Lord to walk me through this emotion right now. I'm always honest about my emotions. That's one thing about it. So I think with honesty, it allows you to deal with them as opposed to tuck them away and then they just explode.
Right. Well, the awesome thing about God is that He can handle the full range of our emotions. Like,
He's
we
never
don't have
offended
to be.
by me. That's the thing. Yeah.
Yeah, He can handle it. So how do people connect with you, follow you, reach you? Tell us all your handles.
I'm the same on all my socials. It's THEE_Crystal Nicole. So that's the Crystal Nicole. That's
awesome.
Instagram, Facebook, all of it.
The Crystal Nicole. So here's the last question, Crystal. What would you say to the 18, 20, 25-year-old young woman or even young man who's trying to make their way in life? What lessons have you learned along the way that you would just want to pass on to some younger person coming through?
I would say, first and foremost, take it easy on yourself. I think we're too hard on ourselves. Somebody told me when I had just become a mother, I was like, I don't know. I don't know how to deal with a baby. My daughter's the first child I ever held, first baby I ever held.
Wow.
And so I was like, I don't even know how to hold her. I don't want to break her. And they was like, you do realize that she's learning to become a child while you're learning to become a parent.
Wow.
So you both are learning at the same time. And I would say that for people who are dealing with anything, you're learning. The key is to learn and grow.
Yeah.
Just grow. Don't learn and do the same stuff over and over again. So give yourself some grace and also know who you are, because people will try to tell you. And if you're not sure about it, you'll believe it. And you'll live your whole life somebody else, and then wake up, if you're blessed enough to wake up one day and realize that that's not even who you are. You don't even like that person that you've become, so grab your identity features from the Lord and start from there. Man,
that's really good. Hey, y'all, this is Pastor James Gailliard. The Crystal Nicole is with us in the studio. Thank you so much for being at Word Tabernacle, the Impact Center in Rocky Mount.
Thank you for having me.
So, hey, everybody, this is Pastor James Gailliard back for another edition of In Black and White. And I have in studio at the Impact Center, Todd Galberth. Man, welcome to Word Tabernacle in Rocky Mount.
Man, honored to be here. Heard so much. Hopefully I get my picture on the wall. I walked past the wall, see everybody on the wall today. So I said, man, Lord, let me do good enough so I can get my picture on the wall.
That's going to be a done deal, man. Our photographer is here. And that started, I'm going to tell you where I got that from. Pastor John Jenkins at First Baptist Gailberth.
Every artist has been through that. You I gotta get on the wall.
Yeah. So I was there with him. I'm actually under his covering. So we're very close. He just preached our 19th anniversary. And so we just had our first series of concerts in December. So this is brand new for us. We had John P. Key, and we've had other people come through. So we're thrilled that you're here, man.
Honored.
And I just want to have a little conversation with you, man. So this gives people some background. What are you currently working on? What are you doing these days?
Man, I am. Well, number one, I'm a little country boy from North Carolina.
Okay.
Born and raised in the Fayetteville area. I'm actually from Rayford, North Carolina. Yeah. So grew up little country boy at a little 20-member church, leading worship from the drums. We called it devotional back then, devotional service. And man, just God has just done some amazing things through serving at my local church. I have people ask me all the time, like, man, what's the secret sauce? I'm like, serving. Every significant door that God has opened in my life has come through where I was serving at my local church.
Wow.
And even today, right now, with all the things that God has done in my life, I still serve. I'm an executive pastor at a church in Duluth with Pastor Dr. Darius Daniels, Change Church in Atlanta, and that's the joy of my life. Coming here with you is like whipped cream and cherries. Being able to serve the local church is my heartbeat. So I tell people all the time, like, I'm not an artist, I'm a worship leader.
Gotcha.
And like I love seeing people go from A to B, B to C. That's the pastor part of me.
Yeah, man.
And so doing this, being able to come out and allow God to use me in different capacities all over the world is just so humbling, and I'm so appreciative.
Yeah.
But at the same time, man, being able to serve at a church, man, and really be able to put your arms around people and see people grow and be able to pour your life into an individual where you actually get to see the fruit of it versus just dropping something off. Like tonight, we're going to come, we're going to pour, and we're going to put seed in the ground, and then we get to go. But now to be at a place where you can actually see the fruit develop and grow is a beautiful thing.
That's so powerful, and I agree. And you know, as obviously as a local pastor, I love hearing that, and I love spreading that message. So, but I heard you say executive pastor.
Yeah.
So do you worship at Change?
Yeah.
Well?
So I came in. It was almost I came in as a executive pastor, teaching pastor. And because I'm here, I'll lead worship.
Okay.
So I actually came in that capacity more on a leadership role, but I lead worship. Okay. So I lead worship 2 to 3 times a month there.
Okay.
But my 9 to 5 is in the office.
Gotcha.
You know, I'm over the creative video production side.
Gotcha.
Of the church.
It's a great ministry, man, and he's doing great stuff.
I'm so man. I get to work with my hero. I get to work with my favorite communicator. And it just happened. I was in Greenville, just resigned, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna take a year off from ministry. I'm working at a local church anyway, and I said I'm just gonna take a little bit, regroup. I said, and literally when I resigned 3 weeks later, I got a call. I was like, hey man, you know, Pastor Darius is opening up a spot in Atlanta. And I swore on a stack of Bibles I would never live in Atlanta.
Wow.
I despise Atlanta. And I never wanted to live in it. And man, we had one conversation.
Wow.
And I told my wife and kids, well, we're going to Atlanta, man. So it's been one of the greatest joys of my life.
That's awesome.
Being able to serve and learn and grow.
Right.
From, again, like he was before that moment. He was probably my favorite communicator in the world.
Yeah,
and then
he's awesome. He's awesome.
To be linking up with him and doing something great. And what the church is doing in Atlanta has just been, we all just sit back and like, wow.
Yeah.
Like every week, like, wow, God is incredible.
That's good stuff, man. So you mentioned a wife. Tell us about your family.
Family, man, beautiful wife, Vanessa Galberth, my heartbeat. And I have 2 beautiful kids, Tyvin and Maya. My son is getting ready to graduate from high school. Okay. He's 18. My daughter's 16.
Okay.
And my daughter's like in the arts. She wants to do everything. She wants to dance, sing, act, write plays, direct choir. She's just everything. My son just wants to play video games and chill by himself somewhere. So it's like 2 totally different dynamics, but 2 amazing kids.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So I ask everyone I sit down and talk to this question. About 2 years ago, I sat in a business meeting at my church, and I told my congregation that I had hit a wall, like I had just burnt out. And like, of all the things I've spoken in the pulpit, that's the thing that goes viral. Like, if you look my name up, 9 times out of 10, it's gonna be Pastor hits the wall.
Oh wow.
So I always want to know from people, man, like what do you do? What does Todd do to maintain your emotional health?
I actually learned this from PD, from Pastor Darius, is like really honoring my Sabbath.
Okay.
Like really, like no matter how crazy things are, it's like legitimately finding on my Monday is to like, yo, I'm doing only things that bring me joy, that fill my bucket.
Okay.
And it's not negotiable.
Okay.
If it's not on fire, if they're not dying, it'll wait to Tuesday.
I got you.
And understanding the difference between an emergency and what's important. because that could be two different things.
Yeah.
And so, like, really having that time to I can really just reset and not have to put any brain power, emotional investment into those things. So, like, really, that's probably more than anything in the last, because I've been here like 3 years, that has shifted me, like, legitimately. On Mondays, I'm hitting the golf ball.
Okay.
Now I'm in the pickleball.
Okay.
I'm playing basketball. I'm at the movies. I'm on a date with my wife in the middle of the day. I'll take a trip up to the coast. I'm legitimately like, yo, I am disconnecting to be able to, like, have that recharge to go back in. And at the same time, with that, it's like, yo, knowing there's certain things that we can't do in our own strength. Mm-hmm. And also legitimately, like, allowing God to, like, yo, Lord, I can't do this. I can't do this well without you.
Yeah.
Well. Now, it's a lot of people, you know, you can be Saul, you can do it, and he not even be on you at all.
Right.
So you can't operate.
Right.
But to be able to bring your heart to work and the passion to work. And that I've been doing full-time ministry almost 17 years.
Wow.
So I've been in it for a minute. Yeah. And so I know it's like, because we work in the kitchen.
Right. Okay.
And I tell people there's a difference between working in the kitchen and being the person coming to get the food. It's a different feel, a different grind. Everybody can't work in the kitchen. And so that Sabbath for me has been just legitimately like, yo, Mondays, I'm putting my phone on D&D.
Okay.
And I'm going to do exactly what I want to do.
That's good.
All day, man. So that's been a game changer for me.
No, man, that's good. I mean, I'm about to celebrate next week my 24th pastor anniversary, and I've been in full-time ministry almost the entire 24 years. And you're right. It's just a different level of demand, different level of grind, and you got to be able to maintain, you know, them boundaries. To be able to stay.
It's huge, man. It's huge because, I mean, from your seat, I don't want no parts of it. It's like if people knew, I know you just said about, I haven't seen the video, but it's like you said you hit a wall. Like, people hit walls every day. And it's like to do this, and I tell people all the time, it's like, yo, legitimately to do it and bring your heart to work. PD says that he's like, yo, I signed up for a job for people to break up with me every day. I signed up for a job for people to break up with me every day, to be misunderstood every day, to be used. He's like, you can't be, he said, if you're going to be used by God, you will be used by people. He said, so this is what I've signed up for. So if you don't have good heart health, or, imagine Jesus on the cross, and they say Hosanna one week, crucified the next week, and now he's in between two thieves. If his heart isn't right, he don't help that dude.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
that's different, because but that's what it is. It's like, yo, it's Hosanna and crucify him.
Right.
And from your seat, that's why I said I don't want nobody. I get it, but it's like, yo, if I'm like, man, if you knew what it took to sit there, people like hit a wall, the amount of grace that should have come with that statement.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, but people is like, oh no, but like people don't understand the weight and the magnitude. So,
man, clearly you talking with so much wisdom and passion. Who have been the people that have helped Todd get to where you are? Like, who have been the people directly and indirectly that have mentored you, that have really touched you and helped develop you?
Oh man, I would say my first real pastor, Pastor Tyrone Tillman. It's incredible, man. And I think the people who's had more impact have not necessarily been great outside of Pastor. Like Pastor Darius, legitimately, last 3 years have totally changed my life. And not because of how great of a speaker he is, the caliber of man he is.
Okay.
Outside of like one of the most disciplined people, like made me just, not from telling me, but just by watching and seeing all that he carries and how he has the ability to carry it because of the level of discipline in his life. Him, like Pastor Darius, Pastor Tyrone Tillman, just like these people made me want to be better men. I want to be a good man, not a good worship leader, not a good speaker.
Yeah.
Like I'm like, no, I want to be a good husband. I want to be a good father. Mm-hmm. So like those two directly, I would say indirectly, but I don't know. I would say those two people, like legitimately, my first pastor and the connection that we've had over the years and his consistency, and like there's nothing I won't do for him. I don't care if I become the president of the United States. Like I'm gonna take care of that man.
I got you.
Just because of what he's instilled in me.
I got you.
And probably PD, man, it's just like he's just brought such a level. It's like made me step my life up, not my gift up.
Gotcha.
And I'm like, your gift will come up if your life will come up.
Man, it's such a good word. I tell my music department all the time, man, like when I stand before the Lord in judgment, he's not going to be like, man, you sure did have slamming drummer.
Right.
He's going to be challenging me about the condition of your marriage.
Yeah.
And the condition of how you stewarded other areas of your life. And I tell those all the time. Like, I've created space where they don't have to minister every service. So they can sit with their wives.
Yeah.
So they can just sit and be ministered to.
Yeah.
Man. So that caliber of who you are as a person.
Yeah.
Man, that thing is so strong. Last question. Speak a word of people, if you were giving advice to like 18-year-old, 20-year-old, whether they just trying to do life well or whether they're trying to go in the entertainment or gospel industry or whatever the case is, but what life lessons have you learned that you would want to pass on to somebody young coming up?
Man, one of the, again, where I am right now in my life that I feel like, if I would have had this at 23, if I would have had this at 19, it's like legitimately learning to love the dynamic of discipline.
Okay.
Because God can't put, there's so many times that we have great vision and great aspirations, but there are certain things that God can't bring into your life. There are so many things that I wasted because I didn't have discipline. Like oh my God, the seasons, the things I wish I can get back. You know what I mean? Because I didn't have the discipline to be able to hold and carry and steward what God brought in my life or what I ended up, a door that opened for me and I ended up messing it up because I didn't have the discipline to sustain what God wants to do. So it's like, learn to love discipline and learn to it's like delayed gratification. There are things that I'm doing now that I hate, that suck, but my 45-year-old self is gonna absolutely love. Okay. You know what I mean? Because the fruit from this season is gonna be huge because of the level of discipline. And I know, like when I say discipline, it's like being on time, developing a schedule. Don't let your day dictate you. You dictate your day. Little things like that. And that sounds simple, but it's like, it just helps you develop. Like, I'm not going into a Monday. I know exactly what I'm doing on Monday. I know exactly what I'm doing on Tuesday. I know exactly what I'm doing on Wednesday. I'm not waking up and then I'm getting pop. No, these are the times I have allotted for this. And so, like, if you can get at 19, 20, start developing some habits. You're not going to get it right. You're never going to get it right. And the goal is like, you want to set some goals and you want to make a list. These are the things I want, the areas of my life that I have to get more discipline in. And you're not going to do it right all the time. If you can start doing it right a little bit, some of the time, will change your life drastically than not doing it at all. So, like, man, learning to love that process. And it sounds crazy, but it's like, it's like anything. The more you do it, the better you are at doing it. And discipline is the same thing. Saying no is the same thing. Like, the more you continue to say no to some stuff, you first got to get your first one out. So many people, it takes years for me to get my first real no out. It's like, no, I'm not doing that no more. I'm not going there anymore. I'm not dealing with these people anymore. Because I know where I want to go. So, like, that level of discipline, and find you a local church and serve.
Man, what a good word. Y'all, Todd Galberth in studio with me. Listen, if folk want to follow you on social media, how do they do that, brother?
T. Galberth, my TGALBERTH, my first initial, last name, on all my social media handles, ToddGalberth.com, my website for booking and all of that good stuff. But I'm only on Instagram, to be honest with y'all. Anything else, that's my social media drug of choice when I'm on there. But Facebook, it's going to be a little lacking. But
gotcha.
I'm grateful for any follow prayerfully that I'll put a nugget on there that can be a blessing to you.
That's awesome. Well, look, man, good to have you in studio. Looking forward to your ministry tonight.
Honored. Thank you, sir.
Hey, y'all, this is Pastor James Gailliard at Word Tabernacle Church at the Impact Center. I'm bringing you another guest on In Black and White. Q Parker, welcome to Word Tabernacle. Welcome to the Impact Center, brother.
Thank you so much. Just walking around the edifice is beautiful, man. Y'all did an amazing job. Man, I
appreciate that, man. And I appreciate you being with us for the concert tonight. And so, man, look, tell folk about you. Folk who don't know you, let's start there.
Okay. I am Q Parker. I am a native Atlantan, and I grew up Kojic.
Okay.
So for those that know, you can't join in, you got to be born. The song. But got a record deal at 17. My senior year in high school, along with my three brothers, and the world was introduced to the Group 112, the R&B Group 112 in 1996. Went on to win 2 Grammys, sell millions of records. And now I enjoy the philanthropic efforts that I have. My foundation is Q Parker Legacy Foundation with a dual focus of children and senior citizens.
Love it.
And so throughout the year, we just do programming around those demos, love on them, man, and just, give them opportunities, especially the children, give them opportunities to really fully understand the music industry. A lot of them want to enter into the game, but my foundation and it's so important for us to just give them the necessary tools so that as they enter, they have a great sense of how to navigate. Because when we got in the game, it was just trial and error.
Gotcha.
And in a lot of cases, you ended up signing bad contracts, or you just had to work your way out of them.
Gotcha.
And so, being one of those guys, I want to make sure that the next generation is properly prepared if they have interest to enter. And then with the seniors, it's just they're the matriarchs and the patriarchs of the family and the community, and so oftentimes they are the most forgotten demo. And we just want to take time throughout the year and just love on them, man.
Man, I love that, man. At our church, we call that older generation first generation.
Oh,
And then our youth are the next gen. So we got first gen and we got next gen. And we put heavy emphasis on both those groups, man. I feel you on that thing.
I love it, man.
That's good stuff. So what's keeping you busy? Aside from your foundation, on the music side, on the entertainment side, what's keeping you busy these days?
What's keeping me busy is I'm currently in the studio now working on a new R&B album as a solo artist. I've also entered into the management field. I manage the artist that's performing tonight, Nicole. Super amazingly talented individual. And so I'm really excited about it. That this is my first time assuming the role of management. I've been in the industry for almost 30 years, and so all that a manager should possess is within me. For me, it just took a special individual for me to actually take that jump. Yeah. And she indeed is different. She's special. She has an amazing story, an amazing godly gift. So I'm really enjoying that. But
that's good.
Just developing. I do artist development as well for up-and-coming artists who, again, want to enter into the game. I have entrepreneurial communities online. It's all about the education and the information about the industry.
Love it. Love it.
Yeah.
So what's home for you now?
Atlanta.
So you're still in Atlanta?
I'm still in the A.
That's where I went to college, man. And so I went to Morehouse.
Okay.
And so I played basketball my freshman year, but I wasn't very good. I was kind of a walk-on. I played in college.
You might know Dean Southern.
I might know. I'm older than you guys, though.
Okay.
But I we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah.
So let's talk mentors for a minute.
Sure.
Who's over the years who's helped mentor you either directly or indirectly, where you looked at their lives or took those lessons and been able to really apply them to your life?
My first mentor is my father.
Okay.
I grew up in a household, mother, father. Very fortunate to be able to say that. And I just watched my dad provide, protect, serve, be vulnerable, love, hear the words, I love you. And so, again, that's my first role model. In terms of inspiration, again, I grew up in the church. And so I grew up listening to nothing but gospel. It wasn't even allowed to play anything outside of gospel in our home. And so John P. Key, who's a good friend of mine, that's all the members of Commissioned, the Winans, Take Six, who heavily influenced the sound of 112.
Okay.
When you think about the sound of 112, it's some Boyz II Men and Jodeci, but it's also a lot of Take Six and Commissioned. And so they truly, truly inspired me. But then, I had a music teacher in 5th grade, Miss Cynthia Terry, who told me one day, that gift is going to take you places. And even though back then it wasn't really popular to be the singing dude, when everybody was playing, you in the singing competition, or you drive into a voice lesson or anything like that. And I would be ridiculed a lot of times because I wasn't able to do the things. And what's crazy, Pastor, is I was so active, man. I played all the sports, was very studious. GPA was always good. My mama didn't play that. You can't do nothing if you don't get good grades.
I know that's right.
But singing was the thing that and music was the thing that always just tugged on me. It just kept just tapping my shoulder like, hey, yo, don't forget about me. And the moment I really put my time and energy into it, I started to see myself getting better and better and just start to fall so in love. But had it not been for Miss Terry, and I'm still in contact with her today, she influenced me in such a major way because she was the first person to tell me outside of my parents that don't be ashamed of that gift that God gave you.
So good. Man, I got a story. I don't have time to tell it today, but I have a sixth grade teacher who literally, man, I had parents in the house too, wonderful family, but my sixth grade teacher, man, and to this day, I still keep in touch with
Aren't
her.
they special, man?
It's nothing like. So shout out to all the teachers that
Yes.
go the extra mile
Man.
to do what y'all do, because you see evidence right in studio
Impact.
that is making a difference, man. That's
Yes.
so good. So a couple years ago, I did a video at the end of a business meeting where I admitted that I hit the wall. And that thing went viral. And I always tell people, like, the last thing you really want to go viral about is the fact that, you got your own fragile emotional health. So whenever I get the chance to talk to people, I always ask them, what do you do to maintain your emotional health?
My emotional health is for me, it's all about my circle.
Okay.
One of my mentors told me, you can't be the alpha in your circle, because if you're the alpha, then there's a ceiling that you'll hit, and everybody's going to come to you for advice and counseling and all those things. But who counsels the counselor? Who influences the influencer? Who advises the advisor? And so I learned the importance of a circle. But I started an organization, Brothers United of Atlanta, and
Okay.
it's a brotherhood. We meet once a month, and it's all about just getting in a room and just looking eye to eye, seeing someone who go through the same things that you go through. And when I realized that you're not on an island by yourself, that there are other men out here who have identical hardships, identical stories, but with men, it's hard to really externalize these things, because society has said that to show those things or those characteristics makes you weak. But in essence, man, it really makes you strong.
Yeah, man.
We're supposed to tap into every characteristic and quality and trait that God blessed us with. And so even in my darkest times, I just realized that there is somebody, man, that can understand my story. And because of that, this organization was founded, and we started in 2016. We're going on 2016, year 9, year 8, and we're going strong. And I just truly understand the power of mentorship,
Yep.
male fellowship, and how important brotherhood is to men.
Yeah, that's a good word, man. We do a monthly men's roundtable, man. We
Yeah.
have hundreds of brothers that show up,
Yeah.
and we just kicking it real with each other. Being honest, being vulnerable.
Yes.
Not being afraid to kind of own. People don't realize it's hard being a man,
Dude.
and it's even harder being a black man.
Say that
just
again.
real talk,
Say
right?
that again. It's hard. Oh my God, it's hard. It is. It's like the moment your eyes open and your feet hit the ground, it's 30 things waiting to just grab your attention, or things that has to be lifted. And so, one thing with me and even my tribe, I'm very protective of my peace.
Good word.
And I tell people, and sometimes I'm selfish with that.
Okay.
Because if I do the things that I need for me, that makes me better for my wife, my children, my tribe, my community. But if I compromise on those things that makes me whole, I'm not going to be able to give you 100% wife. I'm not going to be able to give you 100% children,
Right.
or siblings, or whomever is dependent on me.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
you really would want to support me when I say today I need to just have a pamper day. Like, give me 4 or 5 hours, I'm going to go play golf, or I'm going to get a massage, get a facial, get my nails, whatever I need to do for me. It's going to benefit the tribe when I come back in smiling and in good spirits and all that, because now you're going to be the direct recipient of this great day I had.
Gotcha. That's a good word, man. I hope y'all heard that. That's a good word, Q. So you mentioned your family. Let me ask you 2 more questions.
Sure.
Tell us a little bit about your family.
Man, I've been married. My wife and I, Charlinda Parker, have been married 22 years in August 10th, 22 years. I have 2 children, a daughter that has gifted me 3 grandbabies.
Oh, wow.
And I have a son who is a sophomore at FAMU.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
That's good stuff, man.
man, grandparentship
Whew,
is
bruh.
like.
Come on, man. Look,
You see this smile on my face?
Y'all see this, y'all? Look, I have 3 grandbabies too, bro, so I feel you on that, man.
Oh my God, dude! I always wondered, like, why are grandparents so special? Until I came one, because it's like all we supposed to do, man, just love on them.
That's it. Look, when I do baby blessings, right, and I had the grandparents and the godparents up there, I say, grandparents, look, this your job is real easy. Spoil them rotten, and when you be tempted to whoop them, just send them back home.
Send them home. Just send them home.
That's good stuff,
That's not
man.
my job.
That's right.
Man,
That's right.
yeah.
So here's the last question.
Sure.
You advising some, 18-year-old, 20-year-old man that's just trying to figure it out in life, trying to make it. It could be entertainment. It could be something academic related. What's the life lesson? What have you learned over the years, man, that you would say, look, bruh, sis, don't forget this? What would it be?
I have a motto, and this regimen, consistency, results.
Okay.
And this can be applicable to anything in life.
Okay.
If you establish a regimen, whatever that is, if you establish a nice core regimen and you are consistent within that regimen, the only thing that can happen is you yield results.
That's good.
Period. Apply that formula into any aspect of your life. Establish a regimen, be consistent in that regimen, and just watch your results.
Watch the results. Love it, man. That's Q Parker. That's good advice, y'all. So listen, folk want to follow you, man, on social media. How do they do that?
I am Q Parker 112, and the foundation work that we do is Q Parker Legacy Foundation on all platforms.
Well, brother, I appreciate you being with us, man. Welcome to Rocky
Thank you
Mount.
for your
Welcome to
time, man.
Impact Center.
Absolutely.
Well, I hope you enjoyed those interviews. I certainly enjoyed having the sit down, having the discussion with everyone, and I wanted to share some of that. We're bringing in so much content here at our studio, and I'm going to be doing a lot more of that. As a matter of fact, we are in the midst of building out a wonderful, wonderful new studio that will probably be done sometime in the next 3 weeks or so. I'm so excited about what that will look like and the kinds of things we're going to be able to do there, and the development and the training and the education and all of the things that we're going to be able to do. Let me say this. This is advice that I've been giving everyone. Find yourself a good, solid church. Find yourself a solid faith community. Find yourself a solid community of people that are like-minded. As we approach the second Trump administration, I'm going to be leading us in a direction so that all of us can be educated, empowered. We're going to map financially what our communities look like so that we can see where our dollars are going and who they fund and what programs they support or hinder. So we're going to see who's oppressing us and make sure we're not writing that check. We're going to be supporting and building minority-owned businesses, Black-owned businesses, female-owned businesses. We're going to be empowering churches to do more than they've ever done before. So I'm very encouraged, and I want you to be very encouraged by where we're headed. I know things will look different, but the Lord knows how to use all of this. Let me end by saying this, and I think you'll know this to be true. COVID was a very difficult time. 2020, 2021, those were difficult years. And there were lots of loss, particularly death, lots of companies that didn't survive, churches that didn't survive. But most people that I know have a testimony that as a result of COVID, God used it to radically jumpstart our economies, our churches, our communities, our families in a way that would not have happened without COVID. I believe prophetically that we're in that same space again, that what we are experiencing is just a political form of disease, a political form of COVID. And God is going to use it to grow businesses, to grow communities, to garner our attention so that we can do more together than we've ever done before. So stay tuned. I hope you enjoyed the interviews that we were able to share today. And I'm asking all of you to give me feedback on what days would you like me to be on? 1 day a week, 2 days a week, 3 days a week? What platforms would you like to see me on? What subject matter would you like to talk about? Do you want me to have in a studio people with me every week? Who would you like me interviewing? Who would you like me talking to? Would you like a call-in feature? And so I'm going to create a survey so that you can answer all those questions. But think about them. Go ahead and type those answers in. I'll be clear and sure to look at those answers and respond to them. So thank you for being with me today. This is James Gailliard, And I am out of clock, but I'm not out of content. I'm out of time, but I'm not out of talk. I'll see you next week right here on Choice 92.1 FM. Go ahead and comment on this, and go ahead and share it with a friend. And absolutely be sure to have a great week. Thanks again.